Hello, my name is Artdelisideshow, and you're listening to the Artdelisideshow. Today I'm going to be highlighting two stories, including Trump's invitation to world leaders to be part of his Board of Peace. We finally have some sort of charter outline. As you can remember, this is part of his 20-point peace plan, which I've outlined in not last show, but the one before that. So I recommend listening to it because it's relevant. This started off as the Gaza peace plan, but seemingly has become just a peace plan for the whole world. But before that, on Monday, Nicki Minaj tweeted against Don Lemon. If you can remember, he used to be CNN, an anchor in CNN. I personally don't like him. I don't like what he's about at all. But on Sunday, he live streamed a protest in St. Paul, Minnesota, where everyone's seen this, where they're at a church, and it's an anti-ICE protest that led by Kiama, I think that's her name, Kiama Armstrong. I've also covered her. She's like a activist type in Minnesota. It's reasonable for activists and the media to work hand in hand. Obviously, like if you have a thing that you're doing and you want media there, you send them a tip. Like it's not anything that's like too sinister. But Nicki Minaj, for some strange reason, just keeps chiming in on social matters and tweeted this kind of odd tweet at Don Lemon after folks were outraged that he was live streaming this protest. And in some way, you know, you could say not taking part of this protest. I mean, you know, after all, he is a journalist. Even though I personally don't like his work, I think he sucks. I'm not a fan of his work at all. But at the end of the day, like, that's what he does, even though he does it for his own agenda. And I don't like what he's all about. And he has some previous allegations of being misogynistic and all this stuff. I mean, he's a dude in news, you know, like he's no Walter Cronkite, but, you know, he paid his dues. Like, he's been doing news for a long time. He has a good understanding of like a good pulse on what's happening, even if he is totally self-serving. But this tweet by Nicki Minaj went viral. It's at like millions of views. It says, Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. The irony of Nicki Minaj calling someone a thug. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. And a picture of a Chucky doll. She then doubled down with another picture of a Chucky doll, but this one, it's pointing its middle finger. And it says, LOL! Exclamation point. 3 exclamation points. And I purposely wrote it that way because I knew that it would be the only way to get the cocksuckers suckers to post about it. They would oh my god, they would have all collectively ignored the despicable behavior displayed by Lemonhead. I'm glad they're angry. They're about to get angrier. Wow. Nicki Minaj is like,
lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you?
Hey, you gay, and I knew this was gonna piss you off. So I guess good job playing her silly little games. But obviously people got really, really pissed, and Don Lemon responded with this video.
Me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is you're out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
I swear to God, if I didn't know Don Lemon was married to a dude, I'd be like, there's no way this guy is gay. He just sounds so awkward talking. Like, if I didn't have a visual of him as like this black dude kissing a dude, would be like, who's this straight white dude on my ear talking like this? Anyways, listen, the idea of Nicki Minaj being homophobic or whatever is, she talks like this. She talks like she got a filthy ass mouth.
They're not sending their best.
She's a rapper, and it doesn't mean that she doesn't know what she's talking about because she's a rapper, but her capacity is limited to the art of rap and being like a wordsmith and stuff like that. But when it comes to politics, she has shown herself over and over again not knowing what the fuck she's talking about, whether it's these tweets or her going to the UN and talking about the Christians in Nigeria without any actual like context, and no one understands why she's doing this. Also, the TPUSA event with Erica Kirk, no one knows why she's doing this except for the one common denominator of like, is she going broke? Is this a recession indicator? Is this why she's doing it? She needs attention. She has a new album coming out and she needs a little bit of attention. Obviously, it's not like an excuse to be an asshole. And Nicki Minaj is, strikes me as kind of like an asshole bully, allegedly. From the outside looking in. God forbid I have an opinion, right? I'm like so scared of Nicki Minaj for some reason. She seems scary. What can I say? And here she is bullying Don Lemon. And Don Lemon, I get that he's offended that Nicki Minaj called him a cocksucker, even though, like, most of us are.
Gotcha, bitch!
I think where he missed the mark is actually talking shit about her being a legal citizen. Is that what he said? Registered an alien citizen? He said something fucking stupid, where it's like, are you an illegal citizen? Like, I don't know if that's possible, but he tried to say something about her immigration status. And I just think that's really lame when you were live streaming and being part of this milieu of anti-ICE protesting, right? And yet here you are talking about, well, Nicki Minaj should be investigated by ICE or taken by ICE. And it's like, dude, you could have been the bigger man here and tried to offer an olive branch in that would just be like, yeah, Nicki Minaj, you're a fucking asshole. You're a bigoted homophobe. His words, not mine. And even though your immigration status is fucked up, I'm still going to be here for you if ICE tries to come and get you. I don't know, like, shade her in a more classy way. Like, we just throw the whole protest away, throw the whole movement away. This whole thing, I mean, don't throw it away, because obviously there is the deportation, everything that's happening with ICE and in Minnesota and in every state, and everything is just fucked up. Everything is incredibly fucked up. I wish Trump and the administration would stop this. I don't think that this is helping. I think that there are bigger issues in American life that will be solved that isn't this. And I think that a lot of people who live in cities can concur with that. We have bigger issues. The children can't read. Also, speaking of which, have y'all seen the Black Panthers, the new Black Panthers? I'm going to put a screenshot. What the fuck is this? Where are the black people in the Black Panther? You got a straight up, you got this dude who looks like Arthur. He's got his fist clenched. This dude looks like a straight up bed. Like he said, where are you working? I work at Raytheon. I work at Palantir. He's got a Raytheon face. You got a chick, a white chick. You got two, maybe one and a half black dudes up in here in this Black Panther. It's a shame. The whole thing is a shame, But that doesn't mean that Don Lemon needs to, in his own political framework, right? Let's just say in his own political framework, to go ahead and to reach to the violent system that is ripping people apart from their families, from their day-to-day lives, from their friends, from their, from the life that they've built, to depend and call upon that system to be used against someone that you don't like because they called you a dick sucker, which again, most of us are.
Gotcha, bitch! That's
fucked up, dude. Like, you stand against it, yet here you are trying to use this tool against someone you don't like because they, I get it. But also, where are the adults? Like, where are the fucking adults here? We're living in clown world. Anyways, speaking of clown world, this Thursday, the U.S. will host a signing ceremony for the Board of Peace at the WEF. That was at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Don't say that 3 times because then George Soros's spirit will be conjured. And if you can remember, don't remember, just for a little context, the Board of Peace is a part of the 20-part peace plan that's proposed by Trump administration and was approved by the United Nations Security Council back in November of 2025. I did another episode about that where I break everything down. It's really thorough, so go ahead and check it out. The Board of Peace was designed to act as an administrative mechanism to oversee and manage the reconstruction of Gaza until 2027. So Trump sent out an official draft inviting world leaders to join the Board of Peace, but the outline for the Board of Peace seemed to have a wider vision for a permanent or quote-unquote long-standing body that will respond to global conflicts. And notably, this charter does not mention Gaza, not even once mentioning Gaza. So I'm going to play this clip from CBS Face the Nation where Robert Berger talks about it a little bit more, and then I'm going to follow up with an article breaking down all the details.
From President Trump's proposed Board of Peace, which would supervise the rebuilding of Gaza, is expected to be signed by world leaders in Davos this week. But there are already concerns about who will be on that board. Invitations were sent to allies like Canada, France, and Britain, but also Russia's President Vladimir Putin. CBS News has learned 10 countries have signed on so far, including the UAE. CBS News contributor Robert Berger joins us live from Jerusalem right now. Robert, thank you so much for your time today. Where do things stand with the formation of this board, and what do we know about its charter?
Well, its charter actually hasn't been published, but broadly speaking, it will oversee, the board will oversee the reconstruction of Gaza, the formation of a new Palestinian government, an international stabilization force, and basically the end of Hamas rule in Gaza and the disarming of Hamas. Now, President Trump, though, has said publicly that kind of took a broader approach, saying a bold new approach to resolving global conflict. That's the goal of the board. And that has some of the nations invited worried that maybe he's trying to use the Board of Peace to replace the United Nations. France, for instance, has said that it won't join the board. Russia, the EU, Britain, they're considering it. So there's a lot of caution to this new Board of Peace. And as you mentioned, 10 nations on board, but 60 were invited.
Oh, wow. Okay, 60 were invited. Well, what's been Israel's reaction to this Board of Peace?
Surprisingly, Israel's reaction was very negative. I mean, considering that Israel would be very cautious to cross President Trump and its guardian ally, the U.S., but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu came out with a statement saying that this board of Israel is not consulted about the Board of Peace, that it's contrary to its policy. Israel's problem is with two of the invited countries, Qatar and Turkey, whom Israel says are actually supporters of Hamas and supporters of terrorism. So the Israelis say Qatar and Turkey are part of the problem, not part of the solution. So overall, putting all that together, well, it's off to a rocky start.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it is. Robert Berger, thank you for your time today.
We just heard from CBS News correspondent Robert Berger on Face the Nation. He's talking about the Board of Peace and all the different reactions from world leaders, more like 50 of the people who were invited to be part of this. And also, when that was recorded, I guess they didn't have any copies or any official copies of the charter, but it has since then been, I guess, broken by the Times of Israel. So they do seem to have a copy of the charter. And like I mentioned, none of it mentions Gaza. Gaza is not mentioned even once. So, not great. So I'm actually going to go to this Reuters article. It's titled, "What is Trump's Board of Peace and Who Has Joined So Far?" It's going to be pretty thorough about where we are at with it. I'm going to add some context. So let's get into it. U.S. President Donald Trump has invited dozens of world leaders to join his Board of Peace initiative aimed at resolving global conflicts, but diplomats say it could harm the works of the UN. That's also what Mr. Berger mentioned, that a lot of people are conflicted or actually just straight up like, what the fuck is going on? This is what the UN does. You were supposed to just have this mitigated and closed off to just Gaza. It was supposed to be like an administrative arm. What the hell are you doing? This is not supposed to be an ongoing thing. People, and this is my 2 cents, I'm just like blown away by the $1 billion membership fee, and the article is going to go into it. So like, this is truly, in my opinion, like a money grab, but of the highest magnitude. Let's continue on. While some traditional allies of the U.S. have responded cautiously and in a few cases have rejected Trump's offer, others, including nations that have long had strained ties with Washington, such as Belarus, have accepted. What is Trump's Board of Peace? Trump first proposed a Board of Peace last September when he announced his plan to end the war in Gaza. He made clear that the board's remit would be expanded beyond Gaza to tackle other conflicts worldwide. What the fuck? Hello, 1984? We'll accept the call. The U.S. president will be the inaugural chairman of the board, and it will be tasked with promoting peace around the world and working to resolve conflicts, according to a copy of the draft seen by Reuters. Like I mentioned earlier, this is like breaking news. This is continually breaking. So according to the charter, they're trying to make this like literally like a world police. So this is insanity. Member states would be limited to a 3-year term unless they pay $1 billion each to fund the board's activities and earn permanent membership, the charter says. We getting there, money. What the fuck? The White House has named U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff, and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner as a member of the initiative's founding executive board. So there's an executive board of the Board of Peace, and there's also a specific Gaza board. So I wonder if moving on, if this like actually takes hold and people invest into this, if there's going to be like a different board for every conflict. Oh my God, this is, we're stepping into something so sinister. Which countries have accepted Trump's invitation so far? A senior White House official said Wednesday about 35 world leaders have so far committed to joining the Board of Peace out of the 50 or so invitations that were sent. This include Middle East allies such as Israel, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Jordan, Qatar, Egypt. We getting there, money. NATO members Turkey and Hungary, whose nationalist leaders have cultivated good personal ties with Trump, and Bibi too. I don't know why they're not mentioning that. Have also agreed to take part, as have Morocco, Pakistan, Indonesia, Kosovo, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Paraguay, and Vietnam. Others which have accepted, including Armenia and Azerbaijan, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm butchering that, which have reached a U.S. brokered peace agreement last August after meeting Trump at the White House. I remember that. Have stopped 5 wars, 8, 7, 9, 10, 15 wars. More controversially, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, long shunned by the West for his country's poor human rights records backing of Russia's war in Ukraine, has accepted Trump's invitation, which comes amid a broader reapproachment between Washington and Minsk. Russia, which has also seen frosty relations with Washington, improved remarkably as Trump courts President Vladimir Putin while accusing Kiev of blocking efforts to end the Ukraine war, has not yet said whether it will be joining the Board of Peace. Neither has China, which has been at loggerheads with Trump and has recently struck a delicate trade. Oh, this is really important. Russia and China are both veto-wielding members of the UN Security Council, remember that, who are also likely to be cautious about any initiatives that could be seen as undermining their power at the world body. Trump, who has often criticized the UN as ineffective, downplayed concerns this week that he might want his board to, quote, replace the world body, saying, "I believe you got to let the UN continue because it has great potential." Great potential. which countries have refused to join and have yet to commit. The Board of Peace initiative, which comes amid a growing transatlantic rift over Greenland. Oh my God. Over Greenland, tariff, and other issues have drawn cautious response from some close U.S. allies who are often uncomfortable with Trump's belligerent, unilateralist, America First approach to international diplomacy. Norway and Sweden have declined his invitation, while Italy's economy minister, Giancarlo Giangetti, said joining the board appeared problematic. The Italian daily Corriere della Sera reported that joining a group led by one country's leader would violate Italy's constitution. France also intends to decline the invitation, a source close to President Emmanuel Macron said, prompting Trump to threaten to hit French wines and champagnes with 200% tariffs. Unless Paris joined his board. Yo, I feel bad for fucking Macron. First, he's got these aviator glasses on, I'm just saying, I've seen what domestic violence looks like, and he's just...
Gotcha, bitch!
They're telltale signs, and he's showing them. That's all I'm gonna say. Allegedly.
False allegations.
Canada said it had agreed in principle, quote unquote, to join, then that the details were still being worked out. Other key U.S. allies include Britain, Germany, and Japan have yet to take a clear public stance, though a German government spokesperson said Chancellor Friedrich Merz would not attend a signing ceremony for the board on Thursday at the World Economic Forum in Davos. I know, that's right. He said, I'm not going. I'm not coming. So, he's trying to make his point, I guess his little protest by not going to the signing ceremony. Ukraine said its diplomats are examining the invitation, but President Vladimir Zelensky said it's hard for him to imagine being on any board with Russia after 4 years of war. Yikes. They could lead by example. They could be like, look at us on the board of peace together. We're going to bring peace to the Middle East and then bring peace to ourselves. And then peace be upon you and you. You get peace and you get peace. Everyone gets peace. Pope Leo. Pope Leo. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that name. Pope Leo, the first U.S. pontiff and a critic of some of Trump's policies, has been invited to join the board and is evaluating the proposal, the Vatican said on Wednesday. Oh, okay. I know that too. May peace be upon us. What power will the board have? Oh, good question. The UN Security Council in November mandated the Board of Peace, but only through 2027, see? And to be solely focused on Gaza. See? Russia and China abstained, complaining that the U.S. drafted resolution did not give the UN a clear role in Gaza's future. Yes, that is very true. The resolution welcomed the establishment of the Board of Peace as a transitional administration that, quote, will set the framework and coordinate funding for the redevelopment of Gaza under Trump's peace plan until the PA, that's the Palestinian Authority, has satisfactorily reformed. Remember that? In the episode where I break down the 20 points, there's a lot of once the Palestinians are re-educated and are, it's a matter of time until there's a two-state solution, and hopefully eventually everyone can live with dignity, first of all. Let's continue on with the article. It is also authorized Board of Peace to deploy a temporary international stabilization force in Gaza, the ISF. What could go wrong? A U.S.-backed military force that's going to teach the local military folks and police departments how to arm themselves and how to shoot guns? What could go wrong? I've never done this a million times. The U.S. has never done this before. I wonder how that's going to turn out. Anyways, hopeful, may peace be upon us. The board is required to report to the 15-member Security Council every 6 months on its progress. Beyond Gaza, it remains unclear what legal authority or enforcement tools the Board of Peace will have or how it will work with the UN and other international organizations. The board's charter says its chairman, Trump, will have extensive executive power, including the ability to veto decisions and remove members, subject to some constraints. That's also a question I have, because it names Trump specifically as the chairman for the Board of Peace. not the role of U.S. president. Let's see. Oh, let's get here to the last sentence of this article. According to its charter, the board will undertake, quote, peace-building functions in accordance with international law. All right, there it is. That's where we're at. Woof. Well, my big question last time when we were talking about the Board of Peace was, I wonder who's going to be on it. I wonder what membership will look like, if it's appointments. Well, it looks like there are people who were appointed to it. And so right now, the Executive Board of Peace is Marco Rubio, Jared Kushner, Steve Woodcock, Tony Blair, Mike Rowan, who's the CEO of private equity firm Apollo Global Management, and AJ Benga, president of the World Bank, and Robert Gabriel, U.S. National Security Advisor. There's also a Gaza Executive Board, which includes U.S. Special Envoy Stephen Witkoff, Jared Kushner, Tony Blair, Hassan Rashad, Mark Rowan, again, the CEO of private equity Apollo Global Management, Hakan Fidan, Turkey's foreign minister, Reem al-Hashimi, the UAE Minister of State for International Cooperation, Nikolai Maldinov, the Bulgarian politician and former UN Middle East Special Envoy, I hope I'm saying that right, Sirigit Khan, UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, Ali Al-Tawaldi, Qatari Strategic Affairs Minister, and Yakir Gabay, billionaire Israeli real estate developer. We getting there, money. I swear that's what it says. I'm putting it up on the screen. So it seems like there are people who are appointed to it. Although if you have $1 billion to contribute and you're a world leader and you got the invite, you can also pay to play, okay? It seems like there's some red flags. I'll put it that way. It seems like the UN is worried. And remember, the UN is broke. Remember, I covered it. I covered it in old episodes. The UN is broke and they need money. And the last time that they had all the people come together at their conference in New York, they were like, hey, we need you to tell us how you're going to contribute. And it seems to have played in Trump's favor. Anyways, I'm really interested in seeing how this plays out and how the UN responds, because I think that they have to watch their turf, because it looks like Trump is trying to get all up in there. $1 billion. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. My name is Artdelisideshow, and you have been listening to me talk about Don Lemon wanting to deport Nicki Minaj after she called him a dick sucker. And like I said, most of us are, Don. Most of us are. Then followed up with some of the news from the Board of Peace from Trump's 20-point peace plan for Gaza has expanded to the 20-point peace plan for the world, for everyone. I'll be back soon. Bye.